Hi everyone, my name is Anaya, and today I want to share a story with you. It's not just a story, it's a piece of my heart. I hope that by the end of this, you'll walk away with something valuable, something I wish I'd known sooner. Sometimes life teaches us lessons in ways we least expect, and this is one such lesson. This story is about love, trust, and finding strength when everything feels like it's falling apart. So settle in, because this one comes straight from my soul. It all started in a small park near my home. I used to sit there every evening, a book in hand, losing myself in fictional worlds. One day, a stranger interrupted my solitude. He was confident, charming, and had this spark in his eyes. "Is that book any good?" he asked, with a playful grin. I wasn't used to people talking to me out of the blue, so I just nodded, feeling a little shy. "It's my favorite," I managed to say. "Can I borrow it?" he asked. I hesitated. I didn't even know him, but something about him made me say yes. He promised to return it the next day. And well, he didn't. Not the next day, not the day after. A week later, there he was, with my book in one hand and a bouquet of flowers in the other. "I kept it longer, so I'd have an excuse to see you again," he said, smiling. And just like that, Arav became a part of my life. It wasn't just about the book anymore. It was about the conversations, the laughter, and the connection we shared. Arav wasn't just charming. He made me feel seen in a way no one else ever had. Arav was the opposite of me. Where I was quiet, he was loud. Where I preferred routine, he sought adventure. But somehow we clicked. He had this way of making me feel like I was the only person in the world that mattered. He'd always say, "Anaya, you're the calm to my storm." One night, under a sky full of stars, he held my hand and said something I'll never forget. "Trust me, Anaya. One day, I'll make all your dreams come true. Just wait for me." I believed him. I trusted every word. Arav had this way of painting a picture of our future together that felt so real, so tangible. He talked about the places we'd visit, the adventures we'd have, and the life we'd build together. Looking back, I realized how deeply I wanted to believe in those promises. It wasn't just about him. It was about the hope he gave me, the dream of a future that seemed so bright. A few months later, he told me he had to leave the city for work. "It was an incredible opportunity," he said. "It's only for a little while," he promised. "And when I come back, everything will be perfect." I remember standing at the train station holding back tears as he boarded the train. "I'll wait for you," I whispered. He smiled, kissed my forehead and said, "I know you will." And so I waited. At first it didn't feel too hard. I kept myself busy, replaying his promises in my mind. I'd write him letters, pouring out my thoughts and feelings, hoping they'd reach him and remind him of the love we shared. Every time I saw a train pass by, I'd imagine him on it, coming back to me. The days felt long, but the thought of his return kept me going. I believed in us, in the promises we'd made. At first, everything felt fine. Arav would call every day, telling me about his new job, how much he missed me, and how he couldn't wait to come back. But slowly, the calls became less frequent. His replies to my texts were short, often delayed. It's just work, I told myself. He's busy building our future. Weeks turned into months. Arav stopped calling altogether. I sent him letters, pouring my heart into them, but I never got a reply. I told myself to be patient. He'll come back, I thought. He promised. But deep down, doubts started creeping in. What if he wasn't coming back? What if he'd moved on? The hardest part wasn't the waiting. It was the silence, the unanswered questions, the growing distance, and the fear of losing something you once believed was unbreakable. One evening, I decided to visit the park where we'd first met. I sat on our bench, clutching the book he'd borrowed from me that first day. I don't know why I went there. It just felt like the closest I could get to him. And that's when I saw him. Arav was walking through the park, holding hands with another woman. She was beautiful, radiant, and they looked so happy together. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. It felt like the world had stopped spinning. I wanted to call out to him, to ask why he had lied to me, why he had made me wait. But I didn't. I just sat there, silent, as they walked away. In that moment, everything I had been holding onto shattered. The dreams, the promises, the love. It all felt like a cruel illusion. I wanted to cry, to scream, to ask him why. But all I could do was sit there frozen in disbelief. That night, I cried until I had no tears left. I felt empty, betrayed, and so foolish. How could I have believed him? How could I have waited so long for someone who didn't value me? But as the sun rose the next morning, something shifted inside me. I took out my journal and wrote down these words. I waited for him, but he never came. And now I know I deserve someone who will stay. Those words felt like a small step toward healing. They reminded me that my worth wasn't tied to Arav or his promises. Slowly, I started to see that this wasn't just an ending. It was a new beginning. I won't lie. It wasn't easy to move on. But I realized something important. Waiting for someone who doesn't value your time or love isn't loyalty. It's self-betrayal. I started focusing on myself, my dreams, my passions. Slowly but surely, I rebuilt my life. And do you know what? I found strength within me that I didn't know existed. It wasn't about forgetting Arav. It was about finding myself again. Each day, I grew a little stronger, a little wiser. And with every step forward, I felt less burdened by the past and more excited about the future. Now, when I look back, I don't feel anger or regret. I feel grateful. Arav's betrayal taught me one of the most valuable lessons of my life. If someone truly loves you, they won't make you wait. They'll stay. They'll show up. And they'll choose you every single day. I hope my story reminds you of your own strength, of the love you deserve. Life is too short to wait for people who can't see your worth. You are enough, just as you are. And if no one has told you this yet, let me be the one to say it. You deserve a love that chooses you every single day. Thank you for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, Share your thoughts. And remember, you're stronger than you think. And you deserve nothing but the best.